Yo, so I've watched a ton of videos when it comes to studying hands, and some videos actually genuinely helped, while others kind of just made me more and more confused. Fortunately enough, I have done enough trial and error to get slightly better at drawing hands, and I think I could possibly show you how to draw hands in a relatively short amount of time. Sounds cool? Alright, this is how I draw hands. The first thing that I'd like for you to look is not boxes or shapes, but instead the human skeleton. A huge part of drawing relies on your observational skills and how you simplify shapes to your understanding. But for me, when I was first studying hands, it helped me to understand the mechanics of how fingers or joints or how the hand works in the first place. You know, once you know the bones, you can figure out the meat. Okay, now I understand how weird that sounds. By viewing the skeleton, I was able to accurately see the proportions of how long the fingers should be, where the tip of the thumb ends, and where the finger joints are. While shapes are important, it doesn't hurt to understand how the human body's structure look like. For example, by viewing the skeleton like this, you can understand how joints work and their range of motion. You can understand from the knuckle joint, you can see the motion of the finger going like this. This is the natural motion of the finger. And from the second joint of the finger, you can see the motion of that. See? So little things like this, little mechanical stuff like this kind of helped me understand how fingers and how hands were supposed to, I guess, work. So we were at the prologue. Now this is the first step. The palm, baby. Getting the palm correct is the most crucial part, because if the base looks a little off, then your fingers are just gonna look like noodles. Now, I've watched a lot of videos and a lot of tutorials, and everyone uses the same method, which is using 3D boxes to make the palm. Now, this is good because it helps you understand the volume and how the hand will look in 3D space. As for me, I use a mix of 3D and 2D. When I was a beginner, I didn't necessarily have a sort of style, so what I did was emulate other artists that I was interested in. The disciples would always emulate the masters so that they can learn their techniques and then make their own variation of it, right? So it's best to just pick somebody's work that you want to emulate and try to understand how they make it through basic shapes. Speaking of basic shapes, these are the shapes that I practiced and became the building blocks to essentially draw anything. And of course, you should learn them in perspective as well. I've suffered, you will too. Now, when do I justify using 3D shapes instead of 2D shapes? Sometimes when I need to understand how bones should function in a pose that seems complex to me, I change things up and use a 3D shape. For most of the time, I use 3D shapes, and if something that looks easy or generic, let's say like something like this, then this would be the perfect example for using a 2D shape instead. This is totally up to preference, and this is just what works best in my head, so take it or leave it, I don't know. Now, the fingers. I have a lot to say about the fingers. So as I've observed the skeleton, the fingers overall are the same size as the palm, as you can see. That's a good guideline. One point I do want to say is that hand proportions like the fingers or the thumbs may vary according to the style or the character that you're portraying. If you're a beginner, you don't really need to understand this code that I just said. When I was a beginner, all I focused on was just drawing as many hands as I could, and you should just do that. But after I got a bit better at drawing hands, I wanted to focus on the intent of the hands that I was trying to make. The reason why I say this is some people might have thin or thick fingers depending on the lore behind them. For example, a lumberjack's fingers will be thicker than a rider's hand, right? Whereas the rider's fingers might have calluses because they've been riding too much. Thinking about small details like that do a good job at storytelling and makes the end result or makes the picture look a bit more interesting. But since starting out, you don't really need to focus on this that much. This is the point where pro artists will advise you to use cylinders as they best fit the job. If you observed your finger, then you will see that cylindrical shape, and it makes it very easy to just draw fingers out very quickly. But, you know, you can notice that I'm not really doing that anymore. Now, as for me, I like to define the skeletal structure more by making the joints intrude a bit more than the bone, as you can see here. This is why I meant about changing the rules to best fit your taste. I like making my hands look a bit bony. Instead of seeing them as a cylindrical shape, I view them as Lego pieces that connect to the joint. You don't have to follow my footsteps here, and especially if you're a beginner, then I would suggest you just use full cylindrical shapes. I view them as Lego joints. Maybe I developed this sense because of looking at the skeleton for this long. If you think about the skeleton and try to break apart the bones, then they just look like Lego pieces. The thing that most helped me was to take a good look at my own hands and try to notice how my fingers work. After viewing my hand for an uncomfortable amount of time, there are 3 joints in the finger, and the knuckles are what connects them to the palm. I understood that there was a thin webbing between each fingers. The more I spread my fingers, the more visible they were. Also, you will notice that by moving your fingers up and down, the bones in the palm area tend to stick out, you know? Like this. See? They stick out a bit. And you will find a lot of references where this sort of bones are quite visible. Now, the thumbs. I usually view the thumb as a separate object, maybe due to my hyperbolic thumb, but mainly because I used to have a hard time understanding the range of motion and how they exist in the first place. If you observe, then you can see the tip of the thumb is just slightly higher than the knuckles. But again, this isn't how a thumb naturally rests, right? Usually the thumb stays kind of like here. Now, if you notice, your hands and your fingers naturally follow a curve. From the pinky to the thumb, it follows a curve. So even if I had a hard time understanding how long the thumb should be in a position like this, all I really had to do was just draw this sort of curve, and that made me understand that, oh, the tip is actually supposed to be this long. Before, my thumbs used to be like extremely huge compared to my fingers. It would look so wrong. Also, thumbs relatively work the same as fingers. The only slight difference is that, again, if you look at the skeleton, there's actually 2 joints instead of 3. The fingers have 3 joints and the thumb just has 2 joints. I know that there's another bone here, but that bone is just going to the palm, so it's not really, you're not really seeing it that much. Also, I observed that the thumb is connected to the meatiest part of the palm, which is this part, which makes the motion go inward. The bone is responsible for that. Now, as for the wrist, I don't really have much to say. I just kind of connect him to the arms and kind of eyeball it. And now for a few notes. The only way I was able to get better at drawing hands was to just practice. There's a reason why everybody says that practice makes perfect, right? I started out with normal, generic, and easy looking hand gestures, and then slowly building up my confidence and then trying the weird and obscure hand gestures. The key is to just build confidence a little by little. Don't just go to the deep end of the pool and just go for that weird or cool looking hand gesture. 9 times out of 10, you're just gonna make noodle fingers. Use a lot of references from the internet. I get mine from Pinterest and Google. Yes, you may cringe. Also, best source of references are your own hands. Take a bunch of pictures of your hands in different poses and just try to draw them. And if you're having a hard time figuring things out, like what's the shape of the palm looks like this, how can I break this out, then the best way you can understand is just tracing over it. Okay, it's 2026, okay? I know tracing used to be a taboo word a few years ago, but it's 2026, okay? Trace that shit, man. And if you're really rocking with dough, then you can buy these hand figures and observe and draw at the same time. I am definitely not jealous of you. But yeah, that's about all I learned from my studies of drawing hands, and hopefully I did a decent amount of job to try to explain my process. And if it helped you a little bit, then maybe leave a like and subscribe, you know, do all those stuff. It'll make me happy. But yeah, with that being said, remember, you're never alone, and don't you dare go hollow. Adios.